Welcome back to My Life with Plants. I'm Newman, and today we're going to get up and close with this very strange, unique looking plant, and we're going to find out what it is. As you can see here, it's almost covered by this almost invisible velvet that actually comes off on my thumb. So it's kind of like a natural, I wouldn't know what you call it, it's almost like powdery hair that forms on the epidermis all up and down it to give it a whitish look over its green skin. And it is covered with this whitish, this kind of reflects the sunlight, or it's like suntan lotion. It's a very tall plant. There's a lot of nodes. This is the latest growth that it put out just before I brought it in. It seemed to go into a flush of growth. So it grows in nodes, almost like reeds, except this is no reed. This is a member of a succulent family. And it is under the name Cynanchum. Cynanchum floriferum, or grandiflorum, something like that. Folotsia. Folotsia is another name, but I'm struggling to find information on it. But it definitely looks like that it is a lot of cuttings that were taken to make up this whole pot at the time I bought it. But it branches like right down on the first node or segment is where it grows out from. And I'm pretty sure that it'll grow another segment from down the bottom and then form a tight colony. So this is kind of a new world concept of this plant. Wasn't so clear back in 1941 when Woodson, mainly with North American materials, he united 23 genera under Cynanchum, but it consisted of a very extremely broad morphological concept of twining shrubs with pollina, broadly rounded or only slightly compressed. Corona of 5 separate united filiform scales, occasionally compound. Going by the picture that's online, and there's only one, I put down some information about it myself. Flowers are green with long peduncles in an umbel. And an umbel is kind of like a center point with lots of the peduncles sticking out, up to 17 or more individual flowers, and the corona is white, kind of reflexed backwards. And the flower comes out of the nodes. So if you go right up to here, every node or every segment will have a blackened, inconspicuous little bud will come out of here. If you can call it a bud, it must have a different name. it'll be a tiny little round bump, and then from there spring the umbel of inflorescences, and they can come out at 2 points on each join. I don't know if the flowers have any fragrance or not, but on the broader scale it is in the Posinaceae family, which is what Stapelias are in, and Hoyas, and a lot of other tropical plants. There are some other genera, such as Metaplexus from Asia, and Posinaceae covers a lot of North American to Mexico species of very broad leafy plants, some of them growing in sand dunes and dry areas. So they are members of the family. They can have big leathery or hairy leaves. They grow like trees, and what gives them away is their flower structure, which is always put together in the same unique way. So this plant, as you can see here with my hand, it is probably 3 or 4 feet high. I'm not sure how much taller it can get. It puts up with a lot of heat, so out there on the balcony it was getting 100% sun under 35-degree temperatures and tropical heat. Tropical heat seemed to make it a happy plant and grow well. When temperatures did get over 35, when you got to about 38, it wasn't uncommon that some of these stems would sag right down. Not from lack of water, but from heat stress, but they would perk right back up after a watering in the evening. This plant is just growing in an average potting mix that is well drained. Has no special requirements. However, it hasn't flowered yet. When it does flower, I will have another episode. So here it is here. Feels really nice to touch. It's such a nice fill-in plant for your collection, and it is inside because being a native of Madagascar, 15 to 12 degrees is its minimum it can go down to before it starts to get stressed. So it will stay in here, and it did stay in here last winter, no problem. Its growth just slows right down. It doesn't put out any new growth. It just stays green and luscious without any problems, even in low light. So I thought I would just share this with you all. It actually reminds me of a species of ceropegia. Ceropegia that comes from native to the Canary Islands, and there's also a similar looking species from South Africa that grows with these stems here, except the ceropegia has lantern-like flowers, and I think it's called ampliata, because I just remembered that its technical name reminds me of, well, white bells. They're like white lanterns. And I remember having that plant, but I was quite shocked to see the name of it and wondered what this was. So I've picked this up to grow it as a novelty plant, and I quite enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure it can be grown from cuttings. You just cut below one of these nodes or segments, and maybe use melted candle wax to seal over the wound, or let it dry for 2 weeks and then plant it during the warmest parts of the year. So there you have it. Cynanchum floriferum, or folotsia grandiflorum, and I'll put that name on the screen for you all. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you back for another episode all about this big beast. I'm going to introduce that to you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.